Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So if you are new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit or arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, you will have your next Major Arcana series video will be posted early next week. So definitely check back for that. We'll be covering the Hermit card. And if you're interested in the Major Arcana series, that link to the memberships will always be listed in the description box below. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay. Taking a step aside and allowing Spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. As I'm stepping in, I'm getting this energy of like these like dominoes falling. So this kind of gives me the feeling of somebody who feels that either there's a lot of upset around them right now, maybe even a lot of instances of rejection, for example, and just a lot of connections are starting to fade away. A lot of people are exiting our life, or maybe we may be finding that trying to make new connections, we keep having doors closed on us. So let's see what this is about. So the card that comes out is Holy Grail, Inner Discovery, Finding Sacredness, You Are What You Seek. So I'm going to say this, that these situations that are currently happening, they seem to be affecting us a little bit inside of our solar plexus space. So really doing a number on maybe our self-confidence, for some people, maybe even extending into creating uncomfortable vulnerability, right? When we have these situations where it feels like there's some rejection or there's some sort of door that's just being closed and slammed shut in our face repeatedly, especially when it comes to connections that we have that we deeply care about, this can do a lot to cause us to feel extremely, how do I want to put it? How do I want to put this? It feels very insecure. It's a very insecure energy. And, you know, that's not any shame or anything like that. This is something that we go through when we experience these types of things. The thing is that there's something else happening here, right? We as people, we live, you know, we live in the moment. We live like on the surface, right? We see what's happening and we take it for what it looks like. And sometimes we try to read between, and oftentimes what we read is based off of our fears. The thing is that what's happening here is that there's something very sacred that's happening in your life right now. It doesn't feel that way, right? It doesn't feel that way. We may be feeling very upset, very disturbed by these things, especially if it's this particular person that keeps rejecting us over and over. Now, what seems to be happening, though, is that you're being guided towards this space here. And this space is where we find our own sacredness and where we understand that the thing that we're looking for in our outside relationships is actually something we have to first find within. Now, when we have this happen, when we have these energies sort of closing doors on us, it's because we're being pushed deeper and deeper inside. This is usually because our vibration is already rising. So for whoever this message is for, your vibration is currently rising. You are no longer a vibrational match to the energies that you were currently connected to, which is why they're becoming disconnected, whether through their own hands or whether through, you closing the door on people. But it does seem like somebody's having a lot of doors that are closing all at once. And there may be a little bit of a question of why is this happening? If that's a particular answer that, or question that you have asked and an answer that you're looking for, then this is probably your confirmation. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull the tarot. Okay, so this seems to be something that we are currently struggling with. We do have the 10 of Wands. When the 10 of Wands comes out inside of this energy, it feels like there is, it's almost like pushing against a brick wall, feeling like maybe we can't get people to listen. Maybe it just feels like there's a heavy energy that we're trying to move against, and we don't understand why. Some of you have been holding on, and I will say it, some of you have been holding on to a situation or a relationship or a person that hasn't wanted to be held on to, and it is time to let them go. That's really the overall sense of this reading, is it's okay to let go, right? If people want to take their exit, or if something's just not working out, it's okay to release that and allow it to go. It's not saying that, you know, these situations that you've invested a lot in, that you still care about, that you don't feel ready to release. Release them when you feel ready. What I'm seeing here is I feel like someone is in a place in their life where they are ready, where these releases are naturally happening, they're naturally occurring. We're starting to understand that we're pushing against a brick wall to get somebody or something to accept us when that's just not happening. And this, again, like I said, like I always say, right? My readings are meant for confirmation. They're not here to tell you something that you don't know. So if you aren't in a space where you feel like letting go of something, then that's not necessarily what this message is talking about. You may not be the person that this message is for. This message seems to be for somebody who is already kind of teetering on that brink of, should I do this or should I not do this? Should I hold on or should I let go? Understand exactly what's happening here. And you should be able to recognize it once it's said, right? When we look at this, we have these two spheres, these two worlds that are merging. One is of a higher realm, one is of this more earthly realm. Someone here is having a lot of spiritual energy poured into them. They are discovering things about themselves. They're on this like soul search of sorts. Maybe working on a lot of healing, maybe clearing out past baggage, you know, lots of ancestral work for some of you. And so when you have this energy, and this is what you're doing, when you're doing that sort of hermit energy inside yourself and looking inside yourself, the universe has this way of allowing things that no longer resonate with the vibration you're moving into to fade away. This doesn't happen calmly most of the time. Most of the time this happens through those tower moments. And so some of you have been experiencing a lot of tower moments back to back. It's been extremely painful. You're probably wondering why this is happening, and this is why. Allow the old to pass away so that you can be brought into the new. There is a period of time after this sort of energy takes place within our lives where we do wind up finding ourselves alone for a little while. And in this space of being alone, there may be heartbreaks that are involved in releasing these things, right? Some of these releases are not necessarily easy. They are tower moments. For some of you, if you have been holding on to a particular person, you're realizing it's time to let go because nothing's ever going to change in that situation. There's going to be some heartbreak to work through and to heal. And this is another reason why we enter this sort of isolatory time and this hermit mode. This is where the conflicts within a broken heart can be resolved. So for example, conflicts within a broken heart can be, you know, we just wanted so badly for somebody to love us, for example, but they kept you maybe in a situationship, or maybe it was just telling you all the time that, yeah, I'll be interested someday. For now, I just want to keep it casual, you know, like things like that. And after you release that situation, you might look back and realize that you were taken advantage of, or that you feel a certain way. In that space, because there is a heartbreak, you may be less likely to trust the next person that comes around, hence the conflict. So even though you desperately want something, you might be conflicted towards it. And this manifests in all sorts of ways. Maybe we pick apart their actions, or maybe we always accuse them of doing something they're not doing. Things that can essentially wreak havoc in our lives and in the lives of other people. And so this is one reason why when we have these dominoes, as I saw them in the beginning, kind of fall, we tend to go into this hermit space so that we can work on the self and heal the self as we're discovering more and more, and as our vibration is essentially rising. So you're being brought into a place where there's more space being created so that you can fill that space. And then once you fill that space, you're going to attract people that are of like mind. Okay. Now, this is a journey. So whenever we find this energy, this is part of the journey. Every person that has been on a spiritual journey will eventually land here. This is where we leave behind the things that we know with the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is the explorer, and we will start exploring spaces, usually within ourselves. We can also explore the things that we love, or, you know, new hobbies, new places that we've never really given ourselves permission to go to. And this is where we expand. Our energy starts to expand, our mind starts to expand, our awareness starts to expand, and we have a better idea of what it is that we want inside of our lives than we did previously. One of the things about this energy is a lot of people wind up becoming extremely creative or extremely involved in manifestation. So those two tend to be something that comes out a lot with people who end up going within after their connections start to fade away. And when we come into this energy, one of the things that we do is we start to create the life that we want. Again, it follows the Page of Wands. After we've learned the things that we actually want, we set forward towards creating them. So for those of you who find yourself in this energy, but maybe you've never been able to provide for yourself, maybe you've never been able to support yourself in a healthy way, maybe you've never really felt strong on your own, this is a period where you're going to discover that you are and you can. And the final card for this reading is now the Six of Wands. This is where we come out successful. With the Six of Wands, this is kind of like the champion who's returned. He's wearing the laurels, he's victorious, and this is where we feel that we can celebrate ourselves. We've created something inside of ourselves and outside of ourselves that we can celebrate. For many of you, this is an artistic endeavor. It may be a business. It may be just a life that you want, right? Living in a place that you always wanted to live, because now you're able to provide for yourself the way that you need to in order to get there. Things like that, creating friend groups that you really want. This is indicating that we're going to be extremely successful at the end of this, which, you know, this is naturally what follows this period. For some people, this is a very short period of going within and healing. For some people, it's a very long period. And usually the reason why it's a long period is because once they get into this isolation or hermit mode, they actually quite enjoy it. And they love the things that they're discovering about themselves. And eventually they come out of it. And so this is just a little chapter of your story that is really meant to get you to come to this. So I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated for you, please hit that like button. And until next time.